From the Opubco Studios at Britton and Broadway, you're listening to a News OK podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Comics Q&A with Matt Price and Kyle Roberts. Kyle, what's our question this week?
All right, Steve Rogers is back. And, 4th of July is coming up.
That's right.
So, obviously, this makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Our question is, what are some of the classic Steve Rogers storylines?
That's right. He's back in Captain America Reborn out this week for the 4th of July weekend festivities. And let's look at some of these classic Steve Rogers storylines. Steve Englehart in the 70s wrote two, Secret Empire and Nomad. And what happens here is Steve Rogers finds out about this conspiracy that reaches to the very highest levels of government, and at the end sort of disgusted by what he's seen and unsure of what America he's supposed to represent, he becomes the Nomad, which is a sort of a separate superheroic identity. As that storyline goes on, he finds out the Red Skull may have been involved in some of this, and so you've got
a lot of the other Avengers and Black Panther and obviously Falcon.
Falcon gets his new costume in this. The X-Men guest star. There's an Avengers guest appearance. There's a Beast guest appearance. So some
Beast
pretty good
was
stuff.
A huge part of the Avengers for a while.
Yeah, Beast has been both an X-Man and an Avenger. So he this is his 70s look. He was kind of the furrier look, and so those are some he guest stars in by Steve Englehart, who you might know for his long runs on the Avengers or his classic run on Detective Comics with Marshall Rogers.
Sweet.
And then another one we're going to talk about, Captain America, solicited to run for president in the War and Remembrance collection. This is by Roger Stern and John Byrne. Roger Stern also had a long run on the Avengers and on Superman. John Byrne, you probably remember from Uncanny X-Men. So there's several stories in here, including one with the Invaders, Captain America's World War II allies, and battle against Baron Blood, the vampire. But the kind of the key of the collection, and one they put on the cover, is when the third party begins to suggest Captain America could do more good rather than fighting crime to take up the mantle and run for president. And his decision and why he makes his decision are make for a classic Cap story. So
and actually this picture I have on a shirt.
Yeah, you can get shirts like that even now. So that's another classic Cap storyline. And so what we go from here, and then several years later, or a few years later, I guess is all, Captain America could run for president. Here, he's fired by the president.
Right.
Not directly, but
total opposite.
The Commission of Superhuman Activities decides that Captain America, since he's an American agent, needs to work directly for the government. Captain America says in good conscience he needs to have some freedom to make his own decisions, as he's been Captain America for a long time now. And
that's the thing about Steve Rogers, too, is that he does what's good instead of what America,
Right,
he
doesn't just necessarily toe any particular political line, but he fights for the American dream and for the freedom of its people. So what happens here in this one, Captain America gets fired by this commission. Then there's who will be the next Captain America, follows that up. It was an 18-issue storyline, which was a pretty long storyline for back in the 80s when this came out. Captain America fought crime as the captain in sort of a black and red suit. They hired a new Captain America. It all came to a conclusion in Captain America 350.
Is that U.S. agent there?
The U.S. agent costume is what Captain America wore during this 18 issues, because this is actually where it first appeared, and then afterwards U.S. agent ended up wearing it. So so a little battle of Captain Americas, and you've got Tom Morgan doing art on some of this. Is that right? I'm going to look up the name because I forgot. Tom Morgan doing the penciling on most of this, and then Kieran Dwyer coming in for the later part of the run. Classic run, not collected in trade paperback, and this is one that I think we should encourage Marvel to collect and get out there as Steve Rogers comes back into the forefront. So, happy 4th of July, everybody, and enjoy some Captain America comics as you celebrate the birthday of America.
For sure.
So, for Kyle Roberts, I'm Matt Price, and thanks for watching.